Hi, Eloise Ansell here. Hello, I'm an intuitive healer based in the UK. And today I had to record a video and I sat down and I was like, what does everyone need to know about? And my intuition said, how to choose a therapist. And I'm like, hmm, that's an interesting topic to explore. So let's see where we go with this one. There's never any plan. So, finding a therapist. Well, there are so many modalities out there. Let's just start there. I mean, I constantly hear people like, have you heard of this one? Have you heard of this one? Have you heard of this one? Oh, your one sounds a bit like my one. Oh, da, 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 da. It's like there are loads of different ways of shifting. We can shift on our own. We can dedicate time to meditating and doing the work ourselves. We can go and see someone, which can be very useful sometimes to hold a mirror up to us and someone else showing us what's going on and what we're saying to ourselves. So there are many benefits to getting work done. I don't mean that in terms of plastic surgery, but it really is a case of finding what works for you. Normally you come to something because you see a video on YouTube. Someone just booked with me because they've been watching my YouTube videos. Hello. And uh, or you just resonate with the person, or someone recommends a modality to you, and then you go online and try and find someone local to you. And then sometimes you're presented with 10 people and you've got to pick. Now, I always say look at their photos, see who you gel with. And, if you can find a video that they've done, you can sit and watch and get to know their personality and how they tick and see if it's aligned with you. Because you, like, we were joking about this the other day. If you, go to a beautician, you kind of want to see a photo of what their skin looks like, like skin's falling off, and it's like you probably don't want to go and see them. I remember she's a lovely woman, but I remember being at a networking thing, and there was this woman that did massage, and her skin was just awful. Like she had really bad skin, and I was like, I do not want your hands on my body. I mean, even though it's not contagious and all the rest of it, just didn't feel right. And I was like, it's so key, especially with therapies, to look at the person, read about them, find out about them. It doesn't really matter how long they've trained. You can go to someone who's just opened their clinic and you can get an amazing session. But, obviously, if someone's been doing something for decades, they've got more experience, they're a lot more grounded in their work and in themselves. And the key thing is they've done a lot of work on themselves. That doesn't mean that people that have just started haven't either. If you get drawn to someone who's just started, go. Because I remember the first person that booked in with me, I started doing face-to-face clinic, and I'd set a date to start, and someone booked in the week before, and I was like, well, we're definitely doing this because the universe is sending people early. It's just funny. And I so loved that lady that came. She was, lovely, and I learned so much from her as well. It was really interesting. And the lucky thing for me was that I already had a background in life coaching and stuff, so I was already used to working with people one on one. And there is so much to learn as a therapist, and one day I might get around to doing a course on it. But how you present yourself as a therapist is key. I always tell people off if they don't have a photo on their website or on their profile. You need to have a photo because people need to see you if you're having a session. Like if you book a session with me, you won't talk to me, you won't see me, but you'll hear me, and I will connect in with you, but you still want to know who's on the other end of the audio, if you know what I mean. You need to know what I look like. So it's kind of fun. Anyway, so first of all, my top tip is see what you're drawn to. See what resonates with you. Now, sometimes you can I've been to like big events. We used to do a lot of events in London at some of the big exhibitions, like the yoga show and things like that. And I'd go around all the therapists, or at Body, Mind and Soul, I'd go around all the therapists, and some of them be like, I do not want a session with you. They were probably the people I needed a session with. But also, you can get really drawn to some people. So it's good to mix it up. You want to find someone that you feel safe and comfortable with, and someone who is, what's the word? Yeah, like you don't have to be well, like you could go and see someone who's brand new, but they have to be confident enough in what they're doing. It's like, and professional. Like if someone is a bit, if they're just getting started, you can kind of let them off a few things, but you really want to go and see someone who knows what they're talking about and doing, and they most people come to therapy because us as therapists have had a massive shift through whatever we've learned to do, and then we go on and train in it ourselves. So we've got a story to tell you about how we got to where we are, and that's what you want to know. So why are they doing it? Do they love doing it? You'll get a feeling of this when you kind of connect with them. So I very rarely get phone calls from people wanting to talk to me because I've got so much information online, and I've got so many resources for people to dive into. They don't tend to have many questions, but some people do still feel the need to chat to me. But I'm so busy, finding time to do that isn't always easy. So I do try and, maybe it happens like a couple of times a year I get a phone call. But when you're just getting started and you have no information, you're going to get a lot of phone calls. So feel free to phone the therapist or email them and make a time to have a chat. Most of us will happily chat to you for like 15, 20, minutes, half an hour, whatever, in order for you to gauge whether you want to work with us and whether we're a good fit for you. I will be honest with people. Sometimes I go, I've never worked on that before, or there's no reason why we can't do it, but some things I'm very well known for resolving, and then I've got a million stories, and you'll be like, right, okay, you're the right person. But you want someone who feels good for you, feels a good fit. Now, if you've never had any kind of alternative therapies before, there are so many out there to choose from. Just literally tune in and see who you're drawn to. If you want to look at modality and look at the practitioner listing, just run down and see who catches your eye, and then go and read their profile and dive in. It's really key to feel connected with someone. And I have this kind of funny thing. Like sometimes I walk down the road and I see people and I'm like, oh, are they going to be a client in the future? Because there's already a resonance between me and that person, and they probably wouldn't notice it, or they might just smile at me and walk on. But I'm like, oh, are they coming to clinic? It's just funny. Like there's already this connection because there is no such thing as time and space. So it's like, maybe we were married in a past life or something, but it's it's just this resonance, and you will feel that resonance with someone if they're the right fit for you. So yeah, so have a look at people, if they have just got started, give them a break. They might not have a website, they might not have everything aligned, but if you still feel drawn to them, go. They will be incredibly grateful and probably give you too much time. And, just see who you gel with. Don't be afraid to go to someone if they kind of press your buttons a bit, because that might actually be what you need. And that's kind of a quirk as well. So go out there, investigate who you get drawn to, investigate them a little bit as well. If there's no information on them, give them a bell, drop them an email, and say hi, because people need to feel comfortable and safe. And I'm so conscious of that when people book with me. I'm busy, I don't have time to talk to everybody, and just being able to send them some information, and I try and be as cozy as I can with my clients, even though I don't get to give them a physical hug. It's like that experience of coming to you is really key. So when you go and see a therapist for the first time, don't feel like you have to go back to them. They may try and book you in again, depending on how they work. Um, One of my friends, she tries to actively avoid booking people in. She's like, "Oh, you don't need to see me again," which I love in a way. But people probably need more than one session to kind of dig around a bit and clear out the cupboard, as I always say. But don't feel just because you've seen them once, you have to go back to them. If they made you feel uncomfortable, or they weren't a good fit, or they were just a bit too weird for you, or whatever, just say, "Hey, I'm not sure, we're a good fit for each other. No offense, nothing personal," and move on. It's I would rather someone say that to me than just kind of keep booking and then cancelling or moving their session or doing something odd. So just tell them or say, "Hey, I found something else. Thank you for your time," and move on. So try people out. Go and see who's on your doorstep. Go and, book weird distant sessions with people like me. Play play until you find a good fit with someone, and then work with someone for a while, and then you might actually feel like it's time to shift and work with someone else. That's quite healthy as well. Some people like to work with the same person, some people like to mix it up. You don't want to get in a dependency relationship, and most therapists, if they are a good therapist, will stop that happening or avoid it or break the dynamic if that gets into that kind of space. So you're in safe hands. Go to someone you feel safe with. And I always say I can't take my clients somewhere unless I've been there myself. So I'm constantly working on myself to make sure that I'm not, going to be projecting my crap onto a client. And, you have to have done the work yourself to be able to take someone there. So sometimes people won't, you won't gel with someone because they haven't opened that space yet, or they haven't worked through an issue, which is actually what you need to work through yourself. So you might like them on paper, but you're like, "Oh, just something doesn't fit right. I want to go to this person." Honor that because you don't know where they're at on their journey. Now, sometimes I do a session for a client and it comes up that they need another modality, or their body kind of says, "Hey, I need to go and see a different therapist," or I will tell them. I'm like, I don't have all the answers. Sometimes you need someone else's input. And the same, I've had people come to me for one session, they're like, "Why am I having a session off you?" I'm like, I have no idea. And then we get into the session and, oh my word, they're going through something that I've been through. I've done all the work on it, I've cleared everything, but I can be there for them in an empathetic way because I've been through that someone else that hasn't been through that experience may not be able to be, if that makes sense. So I could tune into some of the energy of it in a different way because I've experienced that and I've already cleared all of that stuff for me. So be open to the fact that you might just need one session with someone to clear something, and be open to the fact that you might go on a bit of a journey with someone for a while. Whatever feels good, feels good. And don't be afraid of breaking the relationship. If you're like, "Do you know what? I think I'll give it a break for a bit," just tell us. Therapists don't mind hearing that. So I don't know if I've given any answers here, but at least we've had a conversation about it. So if you've got any questions or comments or thoughts, please put them in the comments below. Do like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you feel like it. I always forget to say that, but please do. It helps build the channel and get my information out to more people. And yeah. And if you want to book a session with me, of course, feel free. Should say that as well, shouldn't I? I've got another video on what types of things you can book a session on me with, so I'll link that below and put that as a suggested video at the end, so you can dive into my world if you want to. But yeah, try people out and don't be afraid to move on, because sometimes you just need one or two sessions with someone, and sometimes someone can really be there for you and hold a beautiful space and just give you that space to heal. And yeah, healing takes time. Like, sometimes, it takes a while to get out of the mess we've taken a while to get into. And then sometimes it's just the press of a button and everything magically disappears. I love the fact that we never know if it's going to be a miracle session or not. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and let's have a conversation in the comments below as well if you've got any thoughts on this or things that you think are key when you're looking for a therapist. What do you look for? Be interested to find out your thoughts. Okay, have a great day. Bye.